My dear CA intermediate students, now in this lecture of strategic management, the particular question is taken from the study material MCQ Caselet book. Okay, so these are all very important, my dear students. For you to clear your exams, all the Caselet you have to solve. It's very important, and especially these questions are lengthy in nature, so a detailed reading is also required, and understanding those things are very important. So here also we will discuss the question in detail and understand this question is discussed on which and all the key concepts which have been discussed in the respective chapters. These questions are mostly of comprehensive in nature, where it covers more than 1 or 2 or 3 chapters. So the reading ability is very important. Interpretation of the question is very important. So read again and again very carefully which concept is being discussed here. So by doing or solving all these caselets, you will have a greater idea how to answer the questions during your exams, main exams. Clear? Now let us discuss this question. Connect Private Limited, a Mumbai-based company, is launching. So launch of a product. Is it not? So launching a smartphone under the brand name Poppy. So brand is one of the word, Poppy is one of the brand name, and launching of a product is coming another. The company recognized plethora of options. Plethora means more options, lots and lots of options, is it not? That customers have from Chinese manufacturers flooding the smartphone landscape. So the smartphone is actually what? It is flooded with the Chinese manufacturers. So more Chinese manufacturers are there in this field. Now, with the recent COVID-19 pandemic hurting the global sentiment towards Chinese products, the company plans to play on the patriotic card and advertise Poppy as the Desi smartphone of India. That is Make in India concept. Because the COVID has given China a backlash. So on that ground, they are trying to reap on the benefit of more of patriotic way. Now, next para. The strategic alarm of the company undertook an industry analysis. So industry analysis, competitive analysis in chapter 2. So which and all chapter is also covered, you should be able to understand. And reported that budget phone segment was overtaken by Chinese brands completely. However, low segment of spot mode was still open for exploration. So the higher segment is fully taken over by Chinese brand, but still lower segment of smartphones are open for exploring. Exploring means you can work on because there is a lot of space is there. You can create your own space. Now, thus the company planned to enter the market with the 2 models, Poppy A and Poppy B, at a price rate of 4,499 and 5,499. So 2 products which the company wants to launch. These are all the product name and the price. The company is also aware that their products can easily be imitated. So imitation is possible. This is also another important aspect. Because if you want to have a competitive advantage, if you want to create sustainable competitive advantage, then your core strength is, or the development of core competency is, that imitation should not be there. Is it not? So at same costing as well as pricing. So imitation is possible because of the price. And this very essence of their product can be lost. So if somebody can imitate, say we have studied in chapter 2 about the Apple strategy, is it not? So the Apple iOS has not been copied at all. So it is difficult to imitate because of rich, highly technically made items. Is it not? So that is what. So a team of marketing professionals was hired to tackle this issue. So So there is an issue of imitation. So marketing team has been appointed. The solution they suggested was to take a first mover advantage. So taking of the first mover advantage and getting into advertising and promotion activity. So which discuss about your functional level strategies. So this chapter is also comes into its corporate level, business level and functional level strategy. Is it not? So 4, 5, 6, sixth chapter. Clear? So based on sound consciousness of the competition from huge money-backed international players, the company decided to manufacture smartphone covers and accessory with the same Desi tag along with the Poppy smartphone. So there is accessories also, necessary accessories and covers are being made at all. So this shall help them to mitigate the risk of being completely thrown out of business, because it's a complete package they are giving. So consequently, the investor a fairly good amount in manufacturing of these accessories. So they can invest in these things for manufacturing. Okay, next element, if you see in this question, is the investors made it objective for the team to reach annual sales of 15,000 handsets and 70,000 pieces of accessories. So accessories 70,000 and handsets 15,000 target. The accessories sales surpassed the expectation by a fairly good margin. So they have exceeded the 70,000. However, Poppy A and Poppy did not receive much anticipated response, and the leadership decided to reduce the scope and focus of purely on accessories business going forward. So they have to focus on the accessory product, not on the main product, because the main product could not take away, they could not launch as thought of. So it's a failure element. With a new focus on accessories production, and the Desi tag will still play an important role in success. So, Make in India concept will have a great success. That's what they believe. However, they need to ensure of creation of strong barriers to entry. So, even though Make in India is there, you have to create a barrier for entry. Now, there are Michael Porter's 5 elements in competitive analysis. Is it not? The 5 elements are entry barrier, the first new entrant barrier, is it not? And buying capacity of the customers, as well as the bargaining capacity of the customers, as well as the suppliers, and the rival, as well as your substitutes. So these 5 elements are very important. In that, entry barrier, new entrant barrier you have to create, and for that they have plans to augment the production to enormous level. So they use the augmentation models to have lens cart. It's an augmented model business, is it not? So that also they have planned. This shall reduce their unit cost, thus enable volume driven cost leadership. So it's a volume driven cost. So if you produce only, that cost is more prevalent than other costs. Now this is how the entire case study, my dear students. So it covers chapter number 2, chapter number 6. These are all the key chapters which are being covered. Of course, other chapters, some elements are there, but the main chapters are 2 and 6. We can see. So while reading itself, in your mind, it should come. That's what. So underline the keywords or note down the keywords. Accordingly, you pick up the concept and then try to answer the questions. Now, let us discuss the question and answer so that it will be comfortable for you. Now, Connect Limited, Private Limited, entered a saturated market. That means a matured market that is almost ended of smartphones. After a due market study of understanding the competitive landscape, put below the steps in correct sequence of understanding of the competitive landscape. So, second chapter, the first 2 main heading topics, the understanding of competitive landscape. So, what are they? First, understanding the competitors, determining strength and weakness of the competitors, identify the competitors, put all the information gathered together. So these are all the 4 very, very key elements in understanding the competitive landscape. Now, in which order you should do it? Let us see the first option. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. Not the case. Second option 3, 1. Identify the competitor, 1. Understand the competitor and determine their strength and weakness. And last, definitely all together. Put all together. So fourth option is coming in 3. So you can leave the third option first of all itself. So by it will be either A, B or C. Now in that B we have seen, now D we have to see. First and 3. Understanding the competitor. No, without identifying, how can you understand? Is it not? So ideally 3 is the best one, first to start. So B is the correct answer. What are they? The first one, identify the competitor. The second one, which is understanding the competitor. Third one, weakness and strength and weakness of the competitor. And fourth one, put all the information together. Now, this is how you need to answer MCQ questions. So, try to eliminate whichever possible elimination in the option is there, as well as go by the correct step. So, it will be very easy. So, sometimes you have to go from answer to the question and sometimes from the question to the answer. That's how MCQ questions are generally answered. Is it not? Now, let us discuss the second one. The annual sales volume. The annual sales volume as an objective by the investors was crucial to establish the company in the market. In the stage of strategic management, are such annual objectives especially important. What are they? Formulation, control, evaluation and implementation. So what is implementation at the stage of strategic management as such annual objectives is basically the implementation part, because formulation is already done. When you implement, then only you will know. So implementation is one of the key. So this is the answer. Am I clear, my dear students? Now let us go to the third question. Following are the sales numbers reported at the end of the year. The leadership took a serious strategic standpoint to move forward and shift to a new core business which are more profitable. Under which of the following category of the business strategy can this decision can be categorized? So which decision, that is from changing one business to another business? Is it a retrenchment strategy? Is it a strategic alliance? It is a diversification, or it's a market development. So which category of strategy it is there? Now you have strategic alliance. This is also fifth alternative we say. There are 4 alternatives, is it not? So one is the stability strategy. The second one is the growth strategy. Third one is the retrenchment strategy. Fourth one is the combination. And generally, some people say fifth one is strategic alliance. Of course, strategic alliance is something different also. Okay. So, from the above these points, it is more clear that it is a retrenchment strategy. It is a retrenchment strategy. Why? Because retrenchment strategy provides you that you have the leadership has a serious look at the standpoint, move forward, a shift from one core business which was more profitable. Yes. So the leadership took a serious strategic standpoint to move forward and shift to a new core business. That's what the existing business is not working. So you need to move forward. You need to move forward. So under the business strategy, it is basically the retrenchment strategy. Hope am I clear? Very good. Now, next thing. After getting results from the market, accessories, business of the company can be classified under the which category of BCG? BCG, Boston Consulting Group, there are 4 elements are there. It's a 2x2 quadra analysis. It's basically a portfolio analysis where a companies have more than 2 or 3 products. So that's why BCG's growth management. So accessory business is which element of it? Because accessory business has achieved more than 70,000 units they were able to sell. So it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow because they are able to reap money. Even though it is not, smartphone was the core business, but ultimately it wasn't going on. So the company is going on business was its accessories, which is a cash cow. Am I clear? Then you have to remember the BCG strategy well. Star is the best product in you. Cash cow is the money making reaping product. Then problem child, which may be a new product or product which doesn't have a greater market share. It's not. It's like a startup product. And dog, where there is not at all, no, everything is low. The relative market share is also low and the growth is also low. Now, this is how you have to recollect your concepts and try to answer the question. Hope it's going clear, students. Great. Now, let us see 1.5. Now, the phase 2 of shifting the business focus to peripheral accessory production, Connect Private Limited has planned setting up entries to barrier for its potential competitors. Yes, so creating barriers for competitors who are rivals basically. Which are the following barrier they have planned to implement? So, which was the planning? Because the accessories were cheap of cost. So, here their main focus was not the capital, not the product differentiation, not access to distribution. It is basically economies of scale. Because larger the production, lesser the cost. So, it's basically economies of scale. Hope I am clear, students, my dear. So, these are all the main thing which they answer. Now, in this case, you see, if you can see the answers which is being mentioned here, first one is the 3124 item, second one is the implementation part which is discussed, and third one is the retrenchment strategy which have here. So, retrenchments or diversification, both are actually correct, but retrenchment strategy as a business strategy when you say. So, cash cow is correct because accessories has a low market growth rate but greater market share. So, you can generate cash. Economies of scale, where you can produce more. Cost of production is less because of your capacity and capability of doing accessory production well. Hope the explanations were clear, students. If you have any doubt, please do post. Thank you. All the best.